Please be seated. Distinguished guests, members of the faculty, members of the 2017 class, their families, and loved ones. Welcome to the 2017 commencement exercises for the Georgetown Master of Arts in International Business and Policy program. I'm George Liebensfeld, Director of Academic Affairs for Executive Degree Programs at the McDonough School of Business, and I'm honored to participate in the ceremony this morning. We will begin our ceremony with an invocation delivered by Reverend Ronald Anton of the Society of Jesus. Following the invocation, Professor David Edelstein will read the Georgetown University Charter. Please stand for the invocation.
Good and gracious God, we gather this morning with faculty, family, and friends, mindful that we do so in your presence and with your Spirit dwelling among us. God of all creation, you call on all humankind to be co-creators with you, to participate by our labor in your work of making a world of justice and love. Help us to realize that by our own creativity, we share in your eternal creative act. God of all wisdom, guide us by your divine wisdom. Do not allow us to be misled by ignorance or avarice, to abandon truth for the sake of advancement or ambition, or be corrupt by fear or favor. God of all love, help us to know your love, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives, so that all our ideas, innovations, and institutions may contribute to your kingdom of grace and care. To you be glory and honor, now and forever. Amen.
Please be seated. In 1815, Georgetown's president, Reverend John Grassi of the Society of Jesus, asked our first student, then Congressman William Gaston, for whom this hall is named, to present a petition for a federal charter. The bill passed the House and the Senate in February 1815 and was signed by the president on the same day the Senate ratified the Treaty of Peace, ending the War of 1812. Accordingly, it is our custom to initiate academic ceremonies with the reading of that charter. It reads as follows. Be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are, or from time to time may be, the president and directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia, to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions, to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges or universities of the United States, and to issue in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission of such degrees. Signed, Langdon Shivas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Gaillard, President pro tempore of the Senate, approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our student speaker, Brandon Jackson.
Good morning. As I was searching for inspiration to bring you greetings this morning, I said to myself, I will be remiss not to take this opportunity to offer a message of hope in such a turbulent political and social climate. Every day we're inundated with streams of information from various news outlets. Oftentimes the pervading message is hate. Breaking news. Gunman leaves 58 dead and over 500 wounded in Las Vegas. Terrorist attack in France. Boko Haram kidnaps dozens of girls. Charlottesville race war. 12-year-old black boy gunned down by a policeman in Cleveland. With headlines like these, it makes you ask yourself, is there any good left in the world? Because all we hear are stories of pain, hate, and bigotry. It appears as if the world is about to eat itself. Couple that with the decrease in human interaction due to technological advancements and how we communicate, we are quickly becoming citizens of an artificial reality, superficially connected to not people, but perceptions, profiles, sound bites that are manufactured to either represent the best of us or the worst of us. Subsequently, without substantive relationships with people who may not look like you, our opinions become forged by the information we consume as the line of demarcation between reality and fiction slowly erodes. So I pose this question to you again. Is there any good left in the world? Now, obviously, the answer to this question is yes. However, it does raise another question. Then why all of the hate? Quite frankly, I wasn't slated enough time to address the why, but I can speak to the what. What we are is afraid. Afraid that we'll be left out of the conversation. Afraid that we'll be forgotten. Afraid that our lives won't matter as the landscape of power shifts. It's not hate, but it's fear. But my message for you today is fear not. This world is big enough for all of us to be great. In fact, it will work even better if we learn to celebrate each other's differences and simultaneously connect on the common thread of humanity. Our country's motto so eloquently underscores these sentiments by stating, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Personally, I think MAIBP is a microcosm of what the world needs right now. A cohort of 27 people gathered from all over the world. We speak 21 different languages, 11 nationalities. We collectively embarked on this journey to be liberated from our cultural, geographical, and ideological constraints. We'll use business as a platform to foster relationships and facilitate intellectual discourse across barriers to make our world bigger by making the world smaller. We all have our personal stories and ambitions. Some of us come from wealthy families, others humble beginnings. Some of us aspire to be CEO and others leaders of the free world. But regardless of the individual reason for being here, the overarching motif is the same. Our dreams can't come to fruition without tearing down these trivial barriers. Georgetown has created a space for us to come and learn from each other while being schooled in the discipline of international business and policy. So when you hear the false narrative that the world is full of hate, remember these words by distinguished philosopher and poet, Nasir Jones, AKA Nas. People fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Instead of viewing the world as full of hate, view it as a place full of for people that don't understand each other. In order to move the needle forward, start relationships and go out and make meaningful relationships and watch the world heal. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. As you know and appreciate, part of the strength of any degree program is the academic content. It is now my pleasure to introduce the program's academic directors who are responsible for the curriculum and other content. Professors Mark Bush and Dennis Quinn will now present a few personal reflections about the class and the experiences shared during the last 12 months.
I love being in this room because it's a room in which you tend to reflect and you think about what has happened and where you've come from and what you've done. I'd like to share two reflections. One is to point out the obvious, which is congratulations for being the first ever cohort of the IBP program. To put a face to that distinction is very rewarding, and I know that Dennis and I share a deep-found sense of satisfaction that as you graduate today, we know the faces of the first cohort, and we can appreciate what has now transpired in terms of a program on paper becoming family. You, to join the ranks of the Georgetown students who have graduated from an assortment of programs, but who nonetheless share one bond in common, which is they are Hoyas, and congratulations on becoming a Hoya. My other reflection is quite simple. It is that at a time like this, it is typical for professors to reflect on all that they know and their received wisdom, etc. And I want to tell you one of my faults, such that you might learn from this one fatal flaw. The goalposts in life keep moving. As soon as you reach some goal, the goalposts shift again. And you look down the road and you recalibrate and you set your sights on the next objective. I'm that person who, upon graduation from a PhD program, told my wife, "We're not having a special dinner tonight. I don't have tenure yet." Don't make that mistake. Enjoy the moment. The goalposts will always shift. It's just how it works. But enjoy the moment and spend this time with your classmates and your family in particular. Enjoy the moment and never fail to celebrate the moment. And this moment, I would submit, is one well worth celebrating. Thank you and congratulations.
I'm also very happy to be here with you guys tonight. Sorry, not yet, tonight yet. Let me reflect a little bit less on the moment and more about you as a class. One of the things that you come to know is that people don't learn as individuals, people learn in a context of a community. And so one of the things that I'm proudest about is the extraordinary community that you, our first class, have created. You know, you're probably catching this. These folks have tremendous affection for each other. You stood together, you support each other. Even if somebody does something maybe horribly wrong, you still have that person's back at all times. And I'd like to echo something Brandon said, you know, about a microcosm of the world as a whole. You guys come from many, many different backgrounds, but you created a fabulous learning community. You created sort of a team spirit, a unity, and maybe more than any other cohort I've seen in my career. And so that is very special, and you know, it helps stamp this program, which bridges two schools and which bridges so much. And so thank you for the depth of your commitment to the university. Thank you for your contributions. We had a great debrief last night about some of the ways forward. You folks have really helped shape our community, and Mark and I will always have a special place in our hearts for you. I also want to take this moment to thank our staff, who really have been extraordinary all along. And so, this is for the families. This has been a team effort all around, and they are a tremendous community. Thank you, and see you folks in a few minutes.
Thank you, Academic Director Mark Bush and Dennis Quinn, for sharing your thoughts with us today. It is now my honor to present Paul Almeida, William R. Berkeley Chair and Dean of the McDonough School of Business, to address the class.
Soon-to-be graduates, colleagues, family, and friends, welcome. Today is about celebration. Here we are with so many of the trappings associated with celebrations through the ages. Silly hats. Come on, I couldn't go out on the road on this. In the snow, a couple of what looked like Japanese tourists asked me to stop and pose with them just now. Ornate robes, wonderful, as Mark said, historic buildings, and it's almost like a Harry Potter story, right? But this is not a fairy tale. This is a celebration of a wonderful reality. A reality that through your sacrifice and your innovativeness, your effort, and your accomplishments, you've made possible. And so this is a true celebration. Firstly, of course, in 10 minutes or so, we're going to congratulate you in a more formal way. But we're really proud of your class. So many interesting people, so many different careers. I've learned a few new careers last night, and areas of work experience, varied backgrounds. And as Dennis said, you've come together to create a community, a rich learning community. And being the first cohort of the Masters of Arts in International Business and Policy, I thought of two words. First I said guinea pigs, and then I said, no, pioneers. Which one do you prefer? Okay. You joined the Wall School of Foreign Service and the McDonough School of Business on our journey as well, to develop a program that explores the world's biggest issues at the intersection of business and global affairs and policy. And it means a lot to be the first, because one of the things I learned from the Jesuits is it was not just about knowing, it was about continuously exploring and learning. And you, through your various activities, and definitely through your social action projects, have been pioneers. You've created a new way. And I think our whole school, both our schools, our university, we're going to learn a lot from what you've done and your experiences. And so you should be really proud. I'm sure the journey was not always easy. I know you love exams and homework, and you're going to miss that. But I'm sure the journey was fruitful as well. You went to faraway places. You experienced different cultures, both within your group and through your external experiences, practices, and I'm sure you grew through these experiences. You grew with your skills and tools and techniques and knowledge, and I hope most of all in your wisdom. I wish I had the opportunity yesterday to catch a bit of your social action projects. I heard great things about them. You partnered with organizations such as the Environmental Defense Fund, the Women's Innovation Network, Save the Children, and the World Bank. You provided recommendations and insights for these entities on public-private partnerships, the effects of regulation, global expansion, combating climate change, and much more. And when I look at this, I say, where else other than at Georgetown? You know, where we combine our Jesuit values, we combine interdisciplinary thinking and action, and we combine the tools and techniques that make for good business to make a difference to the world. Where else? That's why this is a time for celebration. That's why we're so proud of you. I'm really grateful to our two academic directors, Professors Dennis Quinn and Mark Bush, who crafted and developed this program from the ground up, and for bringing in such a wonderful set of faculty. When I was looking at the faculty teaching, except for the first module, doesn't include you, Mark, I said, any program with faculty like this is going to look good. So I'm really grateful to these pioneers who've basically created a template for collaboration across our two schools. And I think what they've done is going to have a grand and wonderful effect on our university for generations to come. So thank you so much. And I couldn't be more grateful to our staff, Ellie's team and Lonnie's team, and everyone else involved. It's their attention to detail, their dedication, their true enthusiasm and love for what they do that can pull off this very complex program. So thank you all so much as well. I'm not sure if you know it, but one of the greatest joys of our academic lives are being in the classroom and the time spent with you and teaching. Not grading, I hate grading, but teaching. And it was truly my privilege to spend a little time with you, during the first module. Can you imagine? It was almost 1 year ago. And please remember me, not Timmy, please remember me. And I'm always ready to talk to you further, to learn from you, and to engage with you. Now, I mentioned that I was trained by Jesuits, and that's been such a big part of my education and the way I think. And I love Father Adolfo Nicolas's words. He said, we're not here just to educate the best people in the world, which you are, but the best people for the world. And if you actually think about it, we are extremely privileged. If you look across the history of the world and across the world as it exists today, in terms of well-being or economics or life expectancy, health, we are the 1% of the 1%. And with that privilege, therefore, comes responsibility. Responsibility to continuously seek to make a difference. And as Brandon said, we live in uncertain times. You just have to watch the news to, sense how fragile the world is. We still have a lot to do. And you have the tools to make a difference. You have the legitimacy. Georgetown's name resonates at so many levels around the globe. You have a network of tens of thousands of people to tap into across more than 100 countries. And I know now you have the confidence to know that you can and should tackle some of the complex challenges facing the world. I believe you can make a difference and you will make a difference. And for this, we celebrate as well. I know you're going to leave us. I hope you'll miss us. But always remember Georgetown. What is Georgetown really? Yes, we are Hoyas, and perhaps with a decent basketball team until the real season starts. We are a lovely campus. We are elegant buildings, scholarly faculty, caring staff, wonderful students. Look at the hall around you, years of tradition, and we are heirs to that tradition. But most of all, I believe Georgetown is the alumni dispersed across industries and around the globe. You give meaning to the Georgetown name on an everyday basis. You are our strength. More than me or anyone else here up at the stage, you define us by your actions, by what you say and what you do and how you do it. And we know that you will do this well. You will be the best people for the world, and we are already proud, and this is another reason to celebrate. So finally, we'll miss you. So wherever life takes you, please come home. Come home by hiring your colleagues. Come home for referrals, for contacts, for advice. Come home to share your expertise as teachers or guest lecturers. Come home to meet your colleagues, old and new. Come home to enrich who we are and what we are together. And sometimes come home just to say hello. Come home, we'll be waiting. We'll keep the light on. For you are Hoyas. You are Georgetown now and forever. And for this, we celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Almeida. We will now call forth our 2017 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in International Business and Policy. Will Deans Almeida and Joel Hellman come forward to congratulate the candidates? And will Professors Bush and Quinn please prepare to hood the candidates? Will the first row please come forward? Please hold your applause until all the students have returned to their seats. Akil Berry. So much for holding your applause until all of you. Michael Kadichi. Elizabeth Sinkata Emmert. Jennifer Crow. Adam DeMarco. Kavita Desai. Julia Geiser. Renee Gallant. Natalia Rakin Galloway. Andrew Gore. Nita Himaduna. Kirsten Horning. Brandon Jackson. Colin Yannick. Tora Kutsenko. Michelle Marin. Margaret McCarthy. Azeb McConan. Angela Moen. Haskell Noyes IV. Eduardo Pinto. Christian Schneider. Michelle Sheehan. James Sanaki. Kyle Smits. Marina Trencheva. Rebecca Watson. Dean Almeida, on behalf of the faculty of the Edmund A. Walsh School of Foreign Service and the Robert M. McDonough School of Business, I have the honor to present to you the aforementioned candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in International Business and Policy. When these candidates have been duly examined and recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Directors, I ask that you bestow on these students the degrees in course. Will the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the President and Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer upon the recommended candidates the degree of Master of Arts in International Business and Policy. I think the next line is moot, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the 2017 class of the Georgetown University Master of Arts in International Business and Policy program. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Almeida. It is now my honor to present Joe Hellman, Dean of the Walsh School of Foreign Service.
Good afternoon. Let me be the first to congratulate our new masters. We know the extraordinary hard work that it took all of you to reach this point. At the same time, we also know the extraordinary support that the people in this room and many others who are not in this room provided to get you to this point. Moral support, ethical support, financial support perhaps. We know that many people in this room were at the other end of the phone line talking again to sort of students who, although they may have graduated from college many years ago, are back again talking about papers and exams. We know that there are spouses, husbands, wives, and children who lost time of their students who are here. We know there are families who took a big dent in their discretionary income to provide this opportunity. But now that's reached the achievement that we have had today and the achievement that you have reached in gaining these degrees. And we have a tradition here at Georgetown to recognize the incredible support that others have given our students as they achieve this milestone. So could I ask the ladies and gentlemen, the masters of the class of 27 to rise? Could I ask them to turn around, please? And for them to salute and applaud the parents, friends, spouses, and children who made this possible. We certainly recognize all your support, and we want to thank all of you for joining us today. Congratulations to our students. Congratulations to all of you. We wish you all well in your future endeavors. We welcome the students as members of the Georgetown alumni family. So if we can ask everyone to please rise and return to the front of the stage as we ask Father Anton to provide the benediction.
And let us pray. Good and gracious God, we ask your blessing upon each and every member of the Georgetown University Masters in Arts and International Business and Policy graduating class. Gracious God, grant them courage to continue to support and care for one another as they have done these past many months, and to live in solidarity with all people, especially the poor and defenseless. Courage to make a difference in their homes, workplace, and world, never tiring of working for a more just world. Courage to love all whom you bring into their lives with the merciful and luxurious love of God. Gracious God, help them to imagine the leaders they can be, leaders who seek and find how to serve, leaders who know that the true purpose of wealth is reckless generosity, and the purpose of their talents and the skills they have learned is to create a world of kindness and justice. Leaders who bring the creation you began to completion, and your kingdom a reality here on earth as it is in heaven. Amen.
Will our guests please remain standing at their places until the faculty and students have recessed? We ask that the members of the graduating class proceed directly to the steps outside the Healy Building for a class photo. Family and friends are invited to follow the members of the platform party to the Fisher Colloquium for a celebratory reception. A map of the walking route is provided in the program book. The 2017 commencement ceremony of the Georgetown Master of Arts in International Business and Policy program is now officially closed.